Oh my lord, did he code on Saturday? Yes, he did. So for the simple game stuff I do, as you probably have seen, I have this guy with a knife, and he was usually hacking the corpse over there, but now I made him follow a simple path because, well, every enemy, every character you have should have a schedule of some sort. And I gave him a schedule. He's just walking around. Because in the future, when I sneak up on him, or I want to collect an item from the stable, I don't want him to see me, because he will come at me and will probably kill me. So, also I left this thing here, so whenever I step into this circle, bam, he's gonna switch target, and he's not finding the path correctly. He's just following a straight line, but still, it already looks okay. And whenever he's close, he'll just return to his normal schedule. He will try to follow a path. He was able to bounce off a wall, and he's still walking around on his main scheduled path. So this is Phaser.js framework library. It's a library. Let's see what I did. So using tiled editor, I do have a dedicated logic layer. Let me move that out. I have a logic layer, not tile layer, just logic layer. And there I have a bunch of points. So this is a schedule enemy 2. Whoops. Schedule enemy 1. Schedule enemy 3. So yeah, he's just walking from here to here to here, then back here, blah blah. And that trigger point you saw previously is telling him, all right, just chase whoever you have, and my logic parsing stuff will just follow that. So let's look at the schedule thing, the setup first, because that was actually a really interesting part for me. Over here, I just say, all right, this is the schedule, and these are logic IDs. Sorry, 7, 8, and 9. All right, so these are actually the IDs of the schedule enemy points I have in here in the editor, specifically in logic layer. So these are scattered around. There's only 3, but that's enough to make impression that the character is going to do stuff while he is in normal resting state or doing his own stuff, minding his own business. All right. So that was on init configuration, and whenever I parse the logic of the level of the configuration of the level, I'm trying to understand, is there an onInit event? Because, well, maybe not every character I will add to the game, not everyone is going to have a schedule, right? So this is specifically for gameplay mechanics on the specific point, and I want to control that with my script. All right, so if there's something like that, well, I specifically can tell my character enemy, who is hard-coded on the level still, but man, it's supposed to be like that. All right. Whenever we tell him, all right, there's your path. I override my character's state machine current state, which currently can be only one. I don't jump between states just yet. And over here, I'm also telling, all right, there's your IDs from object level that you will need to follow. Actually, in Unity, that would be a reference to a prefab somewhere on a scene, right? If that was Unity, I would have my enemy start node. On the right, there would be a panel where I would just drop the reference to my point on the scene, and character controller would just pick that up, right? Well, I kind of try to do that, but I reference IDs of that thing, and I just, yeah, will find that. I will show that later. So the scheduled point state follow state will be initialized, and it will put additional listener to a phaser.js sprite. It will try to listen to a specific key. For example, it was really close to a point. Let's show. Actually, I'll show. Oh, yeah. I do have to have a listener for the main character that he's really close to that point where we are targeting at, where we go. Somewhere along the lines, that check is done here when we have a destination like that chase point and we're really close, which is 50. I hard code that because, well, JavaScript is the scripting language of my game, okay? And I just emit an event. I've arrived to the point. That's it. And then it's my state machine's state listener or handler class, which is responsible to listen to that, arrived at the point, and it's going to say, all right, let's find another one. So pick next point is searching for the next ID to follow, which will be some ID 38, maybe here, and that's it. The loop will continue. All right, cool. About the events emit, I was really reluctant to use that and bind my logic to events, but it turned out to be a really important architecture decision because, well, events can be either processed or ignored, right? So over here, when I ask for the next point, I don't have to know if there's a point. I'm not sure even if that class should know how the point is being extracted. It's just saying, hey, game scene, I'm over here. Just can I have a point of some sort with that ID? And my game scene. Let's go and show you that. and my game scene has something registered to listen to that specific event key. Hey, you want another object for the ID? All right, I've got a method for it. I will find it, which is what the game scene is saying. Actually, if we wait, you will see another console. Yeah, it will find 38. When it receives the request to find another one, it will know whoever called for the point. It will go through the map object layer with a name logic, which is crucial for my game logic design. Okay. It will try to find something with an ID, I want it, and if it does have it, it will say, well, character, whoever you are, all I care is that you have a sprite, which is phaser.js entity, a game object in of itself. Try and chase that thing, all right? You can chase it with the true, that's my technical stuff, and there's a point in space. And I don't care what stuff you have inside there. All I care is that whatever handler you have in there listening right now, just take it. So chase. And then another character controller, which is not player controller, but butcher controls, which is the guy, which is controlling the guy with the knife. He's gonna say this in its constructor. Well, I do have a listener for chase, right? Maybe in future some other object, a game object of phaser.js will subscribe to a chase event, all right? It will know the method to handle it, all right? Follow point, all right. I will probably chase it. There's my point in space. And also if there was a sprite I can chase, well, maybe I'll chase that instead of a specific point in space. And technically, when I add can see an enemy, if the sprite is not visible to me immediately, I mean, he ran behind a corner or something, I cannot see him directly because there's a corner, I can still have his latest visible point. So I will be able to construct a more complicated logic to chase that enemy of a butcher, which is my playable character. So in the case of that dude with the knives, the butcher, well, he was really close to that sprite of my playable character, and it said, all right, I arrived at the point, what do I do next? And the butcher was like, his state controller or just state, whatever, he responded with the next point. All right, since you were over there, yeah, just pick next point. That same logic, when carefully applied, and when I will apply it, will say, all right, now switch to attack state, which will trigger attack animation, and on that animation end, it will trigger seek that playable character again, and if we're still close, try and hit him again. Try hit him again. Try hit him again. When the character is going to be dead, it will return to his own schedule. You know why he will return to his own schedule? Because that's what the butcher does. There's lots of corpses over here. That playable character is going to be just another corpse on a level. Again, we're here. He switches to follow sprite. And when he's really close, he's gonna try and yeah, he tried to follow the point over here. Then there was a point over here, and now he's going to another point on the right. I can actually try and interact with him. I can push him around. He will magically change like animation direction. I will push him like below. So he will try to turn. So pieces are coming together. And in a way that he's becoming kind of more agile in his programming. I mean, I spent quite a lot of time just separating pieces of logic I had to break them into multiple controllers and some initial states. I don't have state machine transitions, not in this iteration or this approach, but the event system of Phaser.js really struck me in a way that I didn't see that before mentally. I mean, you can probably say, Alex, this is such a JavaScript crap. You throw events all over the place, and then you go ahead and listen to events. You're not normal developer, I guess. On the contrary, Unreal blueprints actually have similar structure, right? There's also, oh, you cannot see me talk. There's also stuff you can add to your blueprints for specific characters or what's it called? Whatever, controllers, and they can respond to events. You can press something and it will throw an event. You can trigger something, event actor and overlap. So there probably was some sort of a trigger. It was on. It has a reference to an actor. Blah blah blah. Branches out. There's some destroy actor. That's me right now. I listen to some events. Those are thrown around all over the place. Something is destroyed. In my case, well, I'm at the point, right? And do that logic if there's any. So that's that. And what else? Visually, I did add the shadow. Actually, let me remove the debug information so that the image is clear. So now there's less feeling that he's floating in space. And if I step into that trigger, I have a key, which I showed previously. I'm able to open the door. And there's a bunch of blades. And when I trigger some other thing, he plays animation of death, and we're showing some blood. Um, that's it. Well, even this death was triggered, not triggered. The fact of him dying triggered that blood appearing on the screen. Let me show you final thing. On character death, it was somewhere over here. Yeah, on damage. So I don't have life meter in the game. I don't have 100% of alive. I don't have 50% of alive. He's just dead or not dead. I mean, in this game, if you're hacked with a knife, you die. If you touch the saw, you die. I mean, that's most realistic thing you have. Human body is fragile. So he's dead, and whenever he's dead, I do switch animation, and I send event to the game scene. Hey, the character died. His handle is this ID, so this is the reference for his character class object representation. On character death is actually a listener to character death. And I know for a fact on my tile map that the most suitable blood stain is a piece of frame number 24 over here. Switch to here. So I've got my 24. I know the XY position. I know yeah, I know which frame I want to show. Position. I know tiles reference for the texture. I make it more red, set tint of hex color red. Green is 0, blue is 0. And I made the tween to jump from 0 to 0.5 so that over 2 seconds, not looping, he would see, all right, I can scale from technically 0 to half the normal tile size of tile and make it appear like half the size of a normal tile. So this is pretty much it. Lots of progress and interesting ideas. Once I visually saw how Phaser.js would map on Unreal's blueprint kind of system, it was easier for me to transition to more event-driven design for my gameplay mechanics. I don't have gameplay yet, but this is a nice step. So I've been talking too much already. Cheers.